So with this last BMI check, like we all do, I was hoping for a higher check than the last one, to show that things are progressing in my sync career. You actually see the deposit with BMI a day before, or sometimes 2 days before you actually get the statements from them, that they release the statements. So it's either, not much, I wonder what happened, or it's, wow, what in the world? How did I make that? Well, I've seen more in the latter category lately with performance royalties, so that's a good thing, and it's growing, but it took a gigantic leap, as it has for other people lately that we've talked about. Secretly, I hoped I would find my first four-figure check from BMI under the tree from BMI Santa. But speaking of Santa, I had not seen Christmas payments from things I had in Europe. Still haven't seen them. And I had also seen on my TuneSat account some NFL on CBS placements. Wonder what those pay. Still don't know. Well, I looked at my business account, and lo and behold, it was $2,600 higher than it should have been. I checked my bank register and I saw not one, but two checks over $1,000. I usually see two checks because I have a writer's account and a publishing account. But both checks were over $1,000. What the what? I had Marcus Manderson, Duffingas, was on the show a few months ago to talk about his first four-figure check and a similar experience in his mind. But now I had broken through the four-figure club. But there was a big caveat here, and this is what we're going to have to talk about today because my publishing check was over $1,000. So that means it was not likely what I hoped for. Or was it? Well, hello and welcome to the Make Music Income podcast, where we talk about all kinds of ways to make music income, including sync licensing for TV, film, gaming, and ads. We're going to be talking about that today, obviously. Microsync licensing for YouTube, presentations, and other uses. We're going to be talking about that today and got some specials for you for Microsync as well today. We talk about music streaming. I'm getting ready to be on Andrew Southworth's. He's got a new kind of online thing coming up. I'll let you know about it. And I'm going to be talking about sync there. Music publishing and royalties. We talk about that. Music production. Been talking with a lot of people about music production. We'll get to that in Eric's week. Sheet music, which I've continue to have sales in. And continue not to put more out like an idiot. I've been a music artist. I've served in church. I've been a teacher. All of these things are music incomes that I do or have done. And I hear you. You say, Eric, how in the world can you do so many musical things? Well, everyone can. And by the way, my name, in case you're just joining us, or never joined us before, my name is Eric Copeland, and I am a music composer, arranger, and producer primarily. Also have been an artist, a songwriter, a background singer, a music career consultant, a music teacher, a keyboardist, a church music director, you name it. In music, I have done it, and I've made income in it. And to be honest, I'm still doing many of those things, and might still do those things again, who knows. And I still make my full-time income doing most of them. I mean, it's the only income I have. And so I have done this completely outside the walls of the music industry. I've done this without any kind of music degree, and then I've done them with music degrees, and even a master's degree I have now. I've supported my family with music jobs for only 24 years and made music from made music income for 40 years. Now, most of you watching, I'm talking to you, you're watching this podcast and you're likely not going to be such an idiot and try to make all your money from music. And there's reasons not to as well. But hopefully, maybe, just maybe, you might be able to make some money from music too. So my hope, though, is just that this video and all my podcast and sites and courses and videos, everything, help you make the music that really resonates inside of you and make music income. Both those things are very important to me, and I hope they are to you as well. So before we get into the topic today, I think it's important to talk about my week. I always talk about Eric's Week. Still don't have a jingle, sorry. But I think I could make one like this. Ladies and gentlemen, Eric's Week. Yes, that was not that exciting. All right, well, let's talk about my week. It's been a fun week this week. I have I'm adjusting to my new life as a full-time composer, arranger, and publisher, and producer, I should say, and publisher, I guess. But really been focusing on getting Positive Spin Songs, which is my main company for sync licensing and all licensing, to get it kind of a little bit stronger. I've been bringing on some new co-writers and co-producers, people I'm working for and producing, and that is still open, by the way. If you see the Get in Sync, I'll put that down in the description. But the Get in Sync whole thing is still going on, still offering you the opportunity to work with me on a monthly basis if you're interested to work on albums and pitch them to libraries. Let's get this music out there, and people just seem to need my help. So still doing that. And we are having some fun right now with some albums. We've got, yesterday, me and Matthias from Germany came up with a great album idea together. I've got a lady named Debbie, and she is a tremendous, beautiful piano player, plays just these beautiful piano pieces, and we're working on an idea to build this just amazing piano record. I'm working with Miss Ruth on a harp record, and we're just coming up with all sorts of things that are happening. I've got a cellist named Alida who is just coming up with some amazing ideas for cello, and we are going to marry those together. Maybe we'll marry cello and harp down the road. That would be interesting. But I'm very excited about that. If you're interested in being a Positive Spin partner, you can email me at eric@makemusicincome.com, or just go down and find some email down below or something, get in touch, and let's talk. But we're having some fun doing that. In that vein, trying to get Positive Spin Songs going, I have been completely renovating my disco. If you don't know what disco is what I use to run my entire site now. And my site is called Positive Spin Songs. And if we were to look at it like this, we'd see Positive Spin Songs. And this is kind of my focus these days, is putting everything out. And I went in and just completely redid my disco page. And your friend's like, what is disco? Well, if I click on this Helamus record, which was just signed and is now on a BMG library, thank you to that library for putting that out. Excited to see what happens with that this Halloween. But here is this album. It makes these beautiful pages, and I've got different little other parts, underscore and 30s and things like that people can hear. But this is all powered by a site called Disco. You can see way down here, it's called Powered by Disco. And Disco is kind of like SoundCloud, if SoundCloud was much, much more professional and focused on metadata and focused on getting you to music supervisors and helping you work that whole world. So I have been working like a dog, getting I went in there last week and there was 500 and some songs in there, many of them duplicates. And so I decided, let's go in and just rebuild this thing from scratch. And so I rebuilt it from scratch, and I put all the songs in there that I have, and I still have more to put in. And I'm just over 500 songs in the catalog, which I'm very excited about. I've been building the public side, the side that you were just seeing. And so that doesn't allow for downloads or anything like that, but you can listen to everything. But I am also building a private side for music supervisors, sync agents, and the like, for them to hear and find on Disco my music. So I'll be doing a video about that. You can go back and see the video that I did with Disco 2-3 months ago, or earlier this year. It was a great, very in-depth video about how to use Disco, but I'm going to do a whole video just about how I use it and how I'm about to use it to get the music industry looking and searching for and finding my songs through Disco. So that is a video coming up. Be there, be square. Although it's going to take me a minute because I'm trying to get my Disco all like put together and make sure that it's all up to snuff and ready for everyone to see. So yes, been rebuilding Disco, going to work with their discovery mode here very soon on how to be discovered there from music supervisors and sync agents. We can talk about that. And like I said, there will be a video coming about that. I've been doing a lot of meetings. This has been a week full of Zooms. It's been a Zoom type of week. I have been meeting with people who scheduled one-off consults. I've been meeting with people who have started working with me on specifically creating albums like you just saw that are going to go on the Positive Spin site and go in the Positive Spin Disco site to be discovered, and that I am pitching actively to libraries. So if you are interested in any of this, I do have my coaching is available, and we'll just look at it right now. You can see my coaching at makemusicincome.com/coaching. If you ever just want to talk and say, how can I work with you? How can you answer the questions that I have? Did a lot of that this week, answering questions. I have new coaching hours. I have a little bit more availability these days, Monday through Thursday, 10 to 6. And that may change as we get kind of booked and going. I'm getting so many projects going that I'm going to need to spend my time making music, he says. And I've been wanting this for a long time, but I also know how important it is to talk with people that I'm working with. And so what is the one thing that you really need help with? Do you need to know if your songs are good enough, or do you have songs and not know what to do with them? This is the biggest problem. So if you're trying to wrap your head around this whole thing, I've been talking about licensing and streaming or royalties or whatever it is, that's what I do. And you can see some quotes here on this site. And I also have some advanced monthly coaching. And then we have the whole Sync With Me program. So any of those things you want to talk about, make sure you get in touch here at the site, makemusicincome.com. And you can find everything you need there. All right, let's see where we are in here. I've still got a little bit more of my week. Like I said, new partners. I've been doing also a lot of new library research, trying to find the next libraries to pitch to, because we're, as we say in Kentucky, we're fixing to have a lot of songs to and albums, I should say, albums to pitch. And I am researching I have a plan. And once I do this plan, and if I've achieved this plan, I'll of course do a video about it. This site is really, and this channel is really just me telling you what is working for me, doing my thing, making music, and then telling you how it's working for me. And it's not all about licensing. Right now it's kind of focused on licensing for me. But it's also focusing on, I am super excited. By the way, I do have some news today. I didn't even think I had news, but I think I have some news. Let me go look it up. It's time for the news. Okay, we have to talk about Musescore. It is time that we just talk about this, folks. I mean, I am blown away by what is happening with Musescore right now. If you don't know about Musescore, some of their videos, the video I saw last night, is just shocking. Next Level Sounds, I'm just going to play this video and let you see it because it is nuts.
If you're using Musescore Studio 4, you're probably familiar with Muse Sounds. These meticulously sampled libraries are easy to use and provide highly realistic playback for your scores. Now, for the first time, we've partnered with some of the world's greatest sound library creators, including Spitfire Audio, Orchestral Tools, Cinesamples, and more, to bring you new Muse Sounds editions at incredibly low prices that are tailored to work seamlessly with Musescore Studio. To get the new sounds, first download and install the new Muse Hub from musescore.org.
You got to see this.
Once you've installed and opened Muse Hub, go to the Muse Sounds tab, pick a library, and click this button to download it. No further setup or installation is required. The library will be ready to use the next time you open Musescore Studio. And if Musescore Studio was already running when you installed a library, simply restart it for the library to appear. When you set up a score, Musescore Studio will, by default, attempt to assign the right sound library to your instrument.
I mean, look at all these sounds. You need to go and do some research on Musescore Studio if you are at all interested in doing any kind of work with scoring. But even if you're not and you want sounds, folks, wow, this is crazy. And I might put something down in the bottom. But all the sounds that now come with Musescore Plus, they are all hooked in with orchestral tools. They're hooked in with Spitfire. They're hooked in with Cinesamples and Museo. I think they're also on Museo, but it is crazy. All right, Eric has gone completely off script. Let's get back on script. Okay, well, Eric's week and the news, that's kind of like bonus news, a little bit scattered, but bonus news. And today's news and Eric's week, because of what we're going to talk about today, it's not brought to you by the Sync course, which is what I usually talk about. You can look at that in the information below. But today, no, instead, we're going to talk about the stock market course. And this is something that we haven't talked about it for a while because, well, we've been talking about other things. You know, we've been talking about Sync for a while, and we're going to talk about it today. But this course, I just want to show you that you can find it at the stock market. And I've kind of done something. I've done a thing. I have taken the price down for temporarily because of what we're going to be talking about today. Here's the course, the stock market course. Why you need this course, you could look through that. Lots of great quotes from people who've taken this course, how to find out about every library. This is something that people continue to ask me. How do I find out? How do I get into some of these libraries that are on the safer side, or dip my toe in? A little easier for me to do rather than jump into some of these like scary sync licensing Hollywood libraries and things like that. Well, this course is for you, and I've changed two of the prices this week. Just for this week, $65 is the sale price right now for the whole course, and I've changed some things. I'll show you. And $125. And let me just say, you're the first to hear this. I'm thinking about doing a class in the stock market and just going through the stock market like I do with the Sync course, doing a class maybe earlier in the week, maybe later in the afternoon, an hour-long course where we go through what I feel are the most important modules. So if you're interested in this, then give me an email or maybe sign up for the free part of the course and check it out. And if I get emails that people are interested in, that you either have the stock market or you're interested in getting the stock market and getting into Pond 5 and Motion Array and Identifyy and all the places that can make you some dollars now, stock is not a long game. Stock is a short game. You can get money next month if you put the right music up. It still works. And today we're going to talk about why it still works. But if you're interested, one thing I have done, and I'm going to make a video about this, but I have made a third section now called Your Mileage May Vary of some libraries that are a little not sure about. And then up here is really more of the libraries that I know for sure work, and I probably could split these up somewhere around here, because these 4 or 5 could also go down, and your mileage may vary. And some need an update. Like, I'm not even sure that Music Revolution is out there anymore, but because I've been having trouble finding my stats there. But anyway, all of this stuff is in here. Go take a look, and there's all this bonus material that I've done like extra about this course. So if you're interested in stock music, you may want to take a look at this. You'll find the link right below. This $65 price is not going to last long because next week we're going to get right back into other things. And so this is kind of just a little something since I'm doing this video today. Since stock is a big part of today's video, I'm giving you just a little break there. So take a look at that. You'll find the link right below in the description. Okay. Lovely Fishing Rod says, do you think composers using AI to make music have an edge over regular composers when it comes to sync placement? I would say the opposite. What sync licensing company of any kind of quality is going to want any AI music? I think there are tools that we can use, but they're not Suno where you type something in and have something made. No one's going to take that. Don't do that. Do not. Somebody was on this channel and says, I have 1,000 songs made with AI. No one's going to want that. They want real music. They want it more than ever. They want real music. I'm watching these libraries. I'm seeing what they want. How many songs do I plan on putting up for sync? Well, I have 500, just went over 500 in my disco yesterday. And I would say 1,000 is the next number, but 2,000 is 2,000 to 3,000 would be a great goal to start. I think 1,000 to 2,000 is going to be something that that would get me to a place where I can see more consistency. You just got to have a lot out there. You got to have a lot out there. So the answer is as many as possible. R&B News Review says, thanks for mentioning disco. I need to add them to my task spreadsheet. You sure do. And I think it's more important than ever. Again, there is a video coming up. It's probably going to have to be an edited video versus a rambly live video. But because I need to kind of explain how I did it. I'm not going to go into all the ways that disco works because they have a great site that tells you, or I should say the School of Disco and their YouTube has lots of tutorials, quick tutorials on how to do things. I was watching it last night. You need to go watch it. Aaron Van Loon says, I love Musescore, but I keep running into their playback being quiet, especially the trombones in my big band charts. Interesting. All right, well, let's move on with the show. And today I want to start by kind of introduce what happened to me with my BMI report from Q1 of 2024. And this is where the numbers come in. So get close, get your notes out, boys and girls, because today we're going to be talking about some things that you may or may not have ever heard before. I was hoping for sync income, right? We've been talking about sync licensing on this show, how to get stuff played on television, how to get stuff played on Netflix and all those, but really where the money is in cable and especially in network television. Those are where you're going to get, and I'm already seeing it, I'm seeing bigger payments from those, and so are the people who have made 4 figures. 4 figures comes, it seems, from being on cable television or network television. It's harder to make that happen when everything's getting on Hulu or Netflix, and I'll show you what I mean. Let's just let the cat right out of the bag and let me show you kind of what happened to me. So it happened in cable television, and it happened with, of all things, the show Fox and Friends on Fox News Channel, which is a cable channel, and obviously a lot of people watch it. There will be no political commentary here, but this is what happened. And you can see that the actual plays were all the way from October 15th of 2022 to in January and in March of 2023. So that's over a year and a half ago. This is when those get paid. This is the long game of sync, ladies and gentlemen. If you're into sync, you're going to have to play it for the long game. But I had what looks like a minute and 26 seconds of an arrangement. It's a piano arrangement. It's just piano, I think, or there's also a flute version, I think, but it's just of the Star Spangled Banner. It's an arrangement that I did. And yes, by the way, you do get paid to be the arranger of a song that is public domain. And when you register that, your arrangement might as well have been you writing it, because it's paid the same, but only for public domain songs that you arrange. It can't be for like covers, because that's a whole different thing, because someone else owns those songs. So this is the crux of why both these checks actually were big. Now you're saying, okay, Fox and Friends, that's sync. That's getting on television. It absolutely is. It's getting on television. We're on the TV. The question is, do we call this sync or do we call this stock? Because, ladies and gentlemen, the Star Spangled Banner, as far as I know, the only place where the Star Spangled Banner is, that I have it up, is on Pond 5, Audio Jungle, and Motion Array. And here is the rub. I did not at all have a sale of the Star Spangled Banner on Pond 5, on Audio Jungle, and they only have subscription on Motion Array. It's also on AudioSparx, which also should have but they would take the publishing if it was an AudioSparx thing. And to come to think of it, Pond 5 would get into the publishing if it was a Pond 5 thing. I don't know about Audio Jungle. No, I think I get the publishing from Audio Jungle. I'm only on Audio Jungle. I'm not on Envato Elements, so it couldn't have been a subscription thing. So what I'm thinking is that this Star Spangled Banner was downloaded in someone's Motion Array subscription, which means at the time it probably made me a best case about 30 cents at the time for them to download that. And here is what it paid out. Each of them paid at least $243 for each play, with one of them on October 15th of 2022 making $307.18 for a total of $821.27 for those 3 1.5-minute plays on Fox and Friends, a cable channel, for a solo piano piece. Is this crazy? This is nuts. 5.5 minutes of solo piano that I literally do in 1 or 2 takes on my 88-note piano. And because they downloaded it somewhere, and again, they did not download it from a sync library, from an exclusive library. They downloaded it from a stock library download that wasn't even a sale. And I made $827 here. But wait, as we like to say, there is more. The other thing about this play, and then you can see here on some of these things, I'm still getting some payment for. I've been on Big Nailed It, Baking Challenge, Hack My Home, Love Is Blind, Catering Christmas, a couple of things, and they're not paying a lot. Even the one that was the big October debut of a song in Love Is Blind, which played for over a minute, it's only making $18.25. It made 168 or 160 something last quarter. This quarter, it's only making $18.25. This is why these guys don't pay the same. You can see what I'm talking about there. But what I do want to show you is this. They also played this, I guess they just repeated it on their Sirius XM satellite TV show. And get this out of the way. And look what that paid. By itself, 2 of those. However this works out, I made another $330. This is the power of being on something that has a wide reach, like cable, like satellite radio. So that's over $1,100 just with those 2 things. Now, here's the rub. Because, again, it was on national cable, and because it was not from a library. If this had been from a library, and this is how I knew something was up when I saw the initial payments of this. I didn't think this could be from a sync library because does anybody know why? Well, because I was also getting money from the same show and actually the same amount. This is my publishing BMI statement. So I got the same amount because if you're the publisher, you get the same amount. You actually get 100%, and 50% goes to your writer side and 50% goes to your publishing side. So I got another $821 here, and I believe also same with their satellite radio. So the majority of this wonderful $2,600 of income from BMI this time is this one show that paid so much. And it was downloaded from a stock music library because it's not in a sync exclusive library. And if it was an exclusive library, I wouldn't have got the double payment. I wouldn't have got a payment on my publishing as well. So this means, my friends, that there is the possibility that you could have music on Motion Array be downloaded, be used. I've had this happen before, but not on this scale. I've had stuff happen. I think I had something play on Univision that I'm pretty sure they downloaded on Pond 5 or Audio Jungle. I think it was Audio Jungle. On one hand, it's great. Obviously, it's in the savings account. It's providing a little bit of nice padding of support, but at the same time, the downside is that I'm afraid it's a one-off, and I'm afraid that it was just played that one time, and it was just downloaded that one time, and then that's what I have made here. Now, it also shows you the power of radio. I mean, radio is still a thing. I have seen people's sound exchange. That's other money that's likely coming to me. If it played on their Sirius Radio audio thing, that's tracked through Sound Exchange, and I should see that through Sound Exchange as well. So I should have some radio. And Sirius XM, I didn't know that they have some kind of TV type of thing. So the fact that I got publishing as well, I didn't just get writer's side, which is usually the case. Usually I have a decent writer's check and then almost nothing on my publisher's check. But when I saw that there was a publisher's check and a writer's check, both, and they were both over 1,000, I knew that this likely wasn't from something that one of my libraries had gotten me. And I wanted it to be, but they've got, and they do a lot for me, and there's hundreds of other dollars that have come on this particular both of the, well, at least one of these, my writer's side BMI, that are due to my sync libraries, but it's not this one. And so when you get a publishing check that's equal to or about close to the amount of your writer's check, especially when you're starting out, it's likely that you got the sync in a different way than from one of your exclusive libraries, and you got it maybe from one of your non-exclusive libraries. Like I said, if it had been through AudioSparx or if it had been through Pond 5, they take the publishing, or they get some of the publishing there. Somehow I got in publishing deals there. But Motion Array does not. Motion Array pays directly or gives them directly. And I'm lucky that Fox and Friends filed correctly the Q sheet, which went to BMI and paid me correctly. So pretty amazing. And again, what does this mean? Well, what this means is that there is a reason why you might want to be interested in stock music still, because the possibility is that some of these shows, and I've seen other people say, oh, I saw, if you ever watch the end of a lot of Netflix movies or a lot of movies, even in the theaters, you'll see Pond 5 being listed as someone who provided music or graphics or video to the movie. They're listed all the time. So yeah, that's one reason why I'm wanting people to not forget about the stock market course that I have. And if you're interested in a class, let me know, because folks, it's a thing. And I talk a lot about Pond 5 and Motion Array and content ID and all those things. I guess what I'm going to have to do is put a version of this video up on the course, or make a version of this video that lets people know that it is possible to not just make money, whatever you make from sales on Pond5 or whatever you make in however Motion Array figures up the money, but money from a television show, finding and downloading your song, even if they're on a subscription, and using it on a television show that then pays you thousands of dollars. It's not an if. This is it. I mean, this is what happened to me. This is not it could happen. It's happened. And so, and I know that there are a lot of people, and if you look back at my bud Stevie B's channel, he'll tell you that he has seen a good amount of sync pay, and this is sync pay, being on a cable television show and being paid through your PRO, in my case BMI. That is sync licensing pay, right? That is sync pay, and I got it because it was on a micro sync, as they like to call it in LA, site, and apparently that's Motion Array. And it looks like they got it on a subscription, which we have always barked against since they started doing it for years. When subscriptions started, we said, oh, here we go. We're only going to make pennies, just like Spotify. And here's a case where I did make pennies, and then I made thousands. Go figure. I don't even know. All right, let's hear your questions. I'm sure that you have to have some questions, because I have questions. I'm still trying to figure out what all this means. Yes, Wolfgang, that's what it looks like. From Motion Array to TV, and from Motion Array and however many cents those downloads are, or they're not even downloads. They're, I guess they are downloads, but they're downloads as part of a subscription. So they're very, very tiny amounts. But wow. Yeah, from Motion Array to TV. That's literally what this means. What this means is we went from Motion Array to TV. And it's a little shocking. And if you're not on Motion Array and you are trying to do the stock stuff, I think if you can get in, they're very tough. They want to make sure that you've got good music, and they're not just going to let anything in. So pretty interesting as far as I'm concerned here. Mark, good to see you. Bornyar says, hey, Eric, weekend plus nice cold beverage after a work week. Okay. I have not registered my tracks with BMI. Could I have unknown earnings there since I've had downloads from Motion Array and Pond5? It's possible. It's certainly possible. Like I said, I've seen a few other ones before like this from Motion Array and Pond5. Not most of them. But this is I don't know what to say other than it's happened to me. It could happen to you. So I would register everything, and I religiously register everything with BMI. It's part of my checklist. I have a free checklist. If you go down into the description, you'll see how I do everything when I put something out. When I make a new song, I have this checklist of things I go through, and it's free. You can find it down below in the description. It's called the free checklist, and or the do everything checklist, I think is what it's called. But one of the things I do, because Motion Array, and they all actually ask me for my writer's BMI and my publisher's BMI. I go ahead and just do the BMI listing right then. I just go right to BMI and I go ahead and register it right then. So yeah, absolutely you should. It would be cool to have a how to register your track on BMI course. That's coming. The royalties course is coming, and it sounds like people need it like Max here. I collected artist and publisher share because I have an artist and a publishing, not an artist share. I collected the writer share and the publisher share. There's two sides to how much money there is. If there's $100, the writer gets $50 and the publisher gets $50. And I happen to be the writer and the publisher, so I get all $100. So that's how that works. If there are multiple writers and multiple publishers, well, then you'll split that up on each side. Wolfgang says, I also had sync placements with tracks from Pond 5. Very cool. News Review says, I have seen Pond 5 in the credits of a TV show. Absolutely, I have too, many times. And I don't know if I've seen Envato. I've seen someone else besides them. Maybe Artlist. I don't know. I wish I could make $1,600 a month. Currently, I don't make $1 from BMI. Well, there are many months where I don't make this. Actually, this is the first time I've ever had a 4-figure check on either my publishing. I did have some bigger checks back in the day when I was doing radio. We had a kind of a top 30 radio song on, I don't know. It was on smooth jazz radio stations and contemporary jazz, and it did pretty well. And so, Miss Reynolds says, Bornyard, don't you have a YouTube channel as well? He does, and you all should go over and see it. Go see Mr. Bornyard. He has great videos about how to do. He experiments a lot with computers and how all of this software that we use works with it. So you should go check him out. Great. And you need to come on my show. Bornyard, we have to do like a podcast here very soon. Max says, thank you for all the information. Sorry I'm so bold, but if you're a beginner, would you register with PRO or SongTrust? I would register with PRO. It's not that I'm skeptical about SongTrust, but I just like to control all my monies. And I think there are cases where SongTrust is great, but it's not for me. Whether it's for you, I don't know. But I will do a whole course, yes, on this. The moral of today's story, boys and girls, is that you need to be putting your stuff out there. You need to be putting your stuff, at the very least, you need to be putting your stuff out on stock, out on Motion Array, and if you can, if you've got quality enough music for Motion Array. And you need to be putting your stuff on Pond 5, if nothing else. At least try Pond 5. And I always say, and I have a video about this, you can go find in my stock videos. It's also included in the course. It's why I suggest everyone start with Pond 5, because it's a great way to kind of dip your foot in the water to see if you know how to do that. You'll find links to starting with Pond 5 and everything down in the description. I have links to everything in the description I'm talking about, basically. And like I said, the stock market, I just think this is a time that we should talk about it. And if anyone is interested in a course, or a class that goes along and teaches the stock market course, let me know. Get in touch with me at makemusicincome.com and let's talk about it. But for this week, if you're just trying to figure the whole thing out about how the stock licensing / microsync world works, and you want the opportunity to make money that you wouldn't have made before, there's a possibility. I think we all know that now. It's pretty obvious. Jonathan Carlisle says, if you don't have more than 750 tracks online, don't complain with lack of income. All right, this is a great comment here, because I know a lot of you think, I've got 10 songs up. I've got 25 songs up. I've got 50 songs up. All right, listen, I have about 300 songs up on stock, and probably and a little, about half that or more on sync libraries. That's nothing. I mean, listen to Jonathan, because Jonathan is a person who makes his whole living, supports his entire family 100% on sync licensing. And the reason he does that is because he's got not hundreds of songs, but thousands of songs out there. Wolfgang, same thing. Eric, you showed 800 for writer and 800 for publishing. What are the rest thousands? You said you got 2,600. Can you tell us? Well, yeah, they were here and there. I don't have I really wanted to just talk about that right now. I think most of the rest was just a lot of things. My page, I'm almost up to 10 pages on my PRO statement, which is nothing for someone like probably you, Wolfgang, or you, Jonathan. But I would have to, I didn't really prepare that today. I just really wanted to show that. I mean, some of it comes from some stock stuff. Some of it comes from some radio stuff. I would have to go back and look. I think the main other part was on my writer's side. That means about $300 of other stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Mohit Dagra, haven't seen you for a while. Hello, sir. Can I upload the same song to both Audio Jungle and Motion Ray if the song is registered as a non-exclusive track? Absolutely, you can. Absolutely. So for these and other questions about that kind of thing, if you're interested, again, the stock market course is in this. Miss Reynolds says, but then again, my husband does this more for the music and not the money. That was my idea. Well, I get that. I would think at the end of the day, I do it for the music before the money. That's why I end up not doing things like my man Jonathan does, who writes on demand all day long and just literally is killing himself for this job. And writing songs and putting tracks online and working with libraries, flying around the world for a meeting. I mean, people who are serious about making this kind of money have a lot of tracks online. Jonathan, how many tracks do you think you have online if you're still with us? Wolfgang, where are you now? I know both of you have, Wolfgang, I know you have quite a few. I can't remember what you told me, if it was 1,000. But, and Jonathan, are you over 2,000? I would expect you are after doing this all this time and for who you do it for. Anybody over 1,000 songs in libraries? I'd love to know in this because I think that's what it takes. Here we go. Wolfgang says, I have 1,700 tracks, 600 of them in exclusive sync libraries. Does that mean the other 1,100 are in non-exclusive libraries? And here's the number, folks. You ready? Let's get this scene here, right on the screen. Jonathan Carlisle, 2,780 tracks. And if you're wondering why he has such an exact number, 2,780, it'll be different tomorrow because it'll probably be 785 or 790, 2,790 tomorrow. It's because we count them. We for sure count them. We make sure that we are on top of what we have and what we are doing because this is our lifeblood. The quality is out there. 2,000 exclusive, Jonathan says. That's where you need to be, folks. If you want to be making a yearly income and that's all you're doing, you need to do that. I'm just over 500 on my disco right now and about 200-ish in exclusive and 300 or more in, if you just count like the songs, not how many are in each library, about 300 in non-exclusive things, and then a lot of stuff that's not signed yet, and a lot of stuff underway. Yeah, and Wolfgang says he also has about 1,100 in royalty-free libraries, and that's just the way you have to do it, folks. Bradford says several hundred in my disco, over 2,000 ready to be uploaded. I just need to make the time. Make the time, Bradford. What are you waiting for? Bradford's stuff is awesome. You should hear it. So, well, everybody, I think that's going to do it for me. I need to get off and go teach. Hope you got something out of this. Oh, give us a like real quick before we go, and hopefully more people can see this. I think what I saw today and what you've seen today, I don't know if many people have had this happen, but it does happen. It can happen. And if you're interested, now is the time to grab the stock market course. And like I said, also tell me if you are interested in a class along with the course where I go through and take you through the important modules and take you through all the important things. I don't know if there is room for a class, if people have bandwidth for another class, but we'll see. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for being here today. Give us a thumbs up if you've watched this, if you've gotten anything out of it. I sure have. I have for sure. And if you want to work with me or talk with me about anything, we can talk about consulting, we can talk about working together. Just come and see us at Make Music Income. And everybody, have a great day, and thanks for being part of this today, and we'll see you next time. Okay, see you later. Bye-bye.